Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast, dedicated coverage of the New York Football Giants by your hosts, Marco, Trifecta, T. Merritt, and JBW.
What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast. It is Wednesday night. Huh?
Hey, what's going on?
What is up, gentlemen? What is up? There is an echo. Let me figure that one out. But we are live. Let me know if you can hear me in
This is live radio.
This is live, yes. Let me know
What's
if you
up,
can
guys?
hear me in the chat. I think you can.
Oh, did we already get a caller, or what's up?
No, everything's being put up now. Why? What's up?
Oh, so, wait, who's on right now?
I believe on right now is James and Justin and you.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, man? That's not James. Hey, what's your name, man?
What's up, guys? Yeah, it's Isaiah, guys. What's up? My fault. You have me on mute, Marco.
No, you're live. You're live now. Hold on.
You're live now, man.
How's everybody's doing? What's up, guys?
Good.
We're doing good, man. Doing good.
I already got something to talk about that I just saw today, so I just want to get to it already.
Hit it up.
Hey, go for it, man.
All right, I wanted to talk to you guys about a trade scenario that Daniel Jeremiah brought up today, and it involves a three-way trade. It's going to be us, the Colts, and Buffalo. The Colts would trade back to 12, and we would trade up to 6, and we will get the 22nd pick and the third-round pick from Buffalo. How does that sound? So we can still get a blue-chip player.
Oh, now, this is the trade with the Browns and the Bills and us, the three-way trade they were talking about? Is that what you're trying to discuss, Isaiah?
Yep.
Okay, well, first of all, that's debunked. Whoever writes that, I forgot what the guy's name is. I was making fun of him the other day. He puts out BS. That is not going to be a three-way trade. There's honestly no upside for Cleveland doing it at all. As far as the three-way trade.
Yeah, I was talking about the Colts today. Daniel Jeremiah brought it up today on NFL Total Access.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that one's new.
So we would go down to 6.
Yep. And we would get the 22nd pick with an extra third-round pick.
Honestly, I'm fine with that. Honestly, I mean, the way I look at it is, as much as all these people that are pumping up Barkley, and I like Barkley, but I don't think he's head and shoulders above these other running backs. Not enough to where I could take, let's say at 6. One, we could possibly still get Barkley, but let's say realistically, we get either Chubb or we get Nelson. And then you can add another pick on top of that at 22, which 22 we can honestly get. There's a chance we
Darius
get
Geis.
Exactly, Darius Geis right there. And Darius Geis is not that far behind Barkley to where I can take where two-star players, don't match up to Barkley. That makes no. And that's why more picks the better. The way I look at it. Especially, I said the more picks the better, especially in this draft, because a lot of the stuff that we need this draft is deep in, such as guard, such as center, such as cornerbacks, such as running backs. It's a deep draft for that, so more picks the better.
Yeah, the only thing about this draft that I'm so confused about is that they talk about Barkley being a near-perfect prospect, and then they talk about Rosen being a near-perfect prospect, but then they say they don't like him. So it's really like a whole bunch of smoke screens. So we don't know what we're gonna do yet, which is so like what's hyping up like this whole draft up.
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, no one even knows what's gonna. Usually by now we know, roughly who the number one pick's gonna be. But this year we don't even know what that is, and it's the same thing with Is the same thing with us? Because I honestly think if Sam Darnold drops to the Giants, I don't even think they even think about trading back. They're going to take Darnold at 2.
And I don't think Barkley's going to be picked at 2. I just can't see it. I don't know why. I just can't see Barkley being picked at 2. It probably will happen, but I don't think it won't.
I'm with you with that, Isaiah, because it's really, we were told there was going to be a lot of misinformation coming into this offseason with Gettleman. And it doesn't seem weird or a little coincidental that all of a sudden, all this news, everybody says Giants are completely locked into Barkley at 2. A week and a half before. I think it seems kind of fishy to me, to where we're trying to entice some people to trade up, because now Denver's talking about they like Barkley as well. And, there's a lot of who knows what the information is. And honestly, it might just be a thing where we're trying to get Cleveland to take. If you want Barkley that bad, you better take him at 1, so we can have our choice at quarterback.
Would you be upset if they take Bradley Chubb at 2, just to be safe?
Honestly,
I feel like.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. You take that one.
If the plan is to take Chubb, if that's the plan, then you should trade back, right? Because especially if you get that Colts deal, like if you want Bradley Chubb, you don't have to take him at 2. There's going to be either a team that wants Barkley, could be convinced to take Barkley, or a team that would want to trade up to get one of the quarterbacks. Pick your poison and take your pick of any of the quarterbacks at 2. And so I feel like taking Bradley Chubb at 2 is even more of a reach than taking Saquon Barkley at 2, just because there's so many prospects that could be slotted ahead of Chubb in that spot. I think you could trade back to 6 in that proposed deal and still get Chubb.
Okay.
If that's the guy that you want.
Well, I disagree with this, Justin, and I know what you're saying. If you want Chubb, you're going to have to pick within the top 5. And the other thing with that being is I think Saquon, like, if you want to go by the rankings, and everybody's rankings are going to be different on every team, but let's say I think the difference between Barkley and Darius Geis is a lower drop than Bradley Chubb to, let's say, Marcus Davenport, who they're saying is the second best defensive end.
Yep.
And honestly, they're saying Chubb is. They're saying he's better. He's a better player than Myles Garrett was last year coming out. He's just a better player overall. So, I personally, I would have no problem with Chubb going at 2. I'd be less pissed. And I'm all about trading back. If you don't want the quarterback, trade back. And I'd rather take more players than just one player. But if you have to be locked into somebody, I'd rather take Chubb over Barkley. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, me too. But I'm gonna be honest. If we end up having the 6th pick, I don't think either Barkley or Chubb will be available, because I think one of them end up gonna go to the Broncos, and then the other one will go to the Browns. Probably most likely Chubb will go to the Browns, and then Barkley will end up going to the Broncos, knowing that they released C.J. Anderson.
Well, and that's where I think Denver might have tipped their hand to where they want to go. By them cutting C.J. Anderson, like, who's in place in Denver that can replace C.J. Anderson right now? I don't know. I mean, Booker, is that who they're agreeing with right now? See, that's where I find it kind of weird when I don't understand why Denver would cut C.J. Anderson at this time, but whatever. That's where, but like we've talked about, this is the deepest running back class in quite a long time, and so Denver doesn't need to pick somebody at 5 for running back. They don't need to. And I've also heard rumors that they like Chubb as well. So they would love to pair Von Miller with Chubb on the other side.
Right. Isaiah, thanks for calling in. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll come back to you in a little bit. Let's see what John from the Lank has to say. What's up, John? You're on.
Hey,
what's
going
on, John?
Guys? Hey, I want to talk about Chubb. When I watch him on film, he doesn't have that quick burst that you watch other first-round picks like Myles Garrett last year had. I mean, his technique is flawless and he's really good, but he just doesn't, and that concerns me about that quick burst. And I just think Denver is giving massive tells saying they just cut their running back. They might know something that a lot of people don't know, and about Barkley falling to 5. Like, I agree with you guys said today. And I just want, what are you guys' thoughts on Penny, San Diego State? He's going to be a third-round pick, and I think he's amazing talent. I mean, third round, if you can get a starting running back, the value in that's insane.
Yeah, as far as Rashad Penny, as far as that, I agree with you. He's definitely a talent. And that's the thing is, some of these running backs are going to slide only because the class is so deep. And you almost have to, these teams almost got to pick up, the top defensive ends, the top linebackers, and up quick because they're not as deep a class. And then, but if we grab like a Penny, I'm fine with it. If we grab Penny in the third round, I would absolutely be ecstatic about that. But yeah, I'm cool with him. I like that whole. That's the whole reason I'm not sold on Barkley, because I like the Sony Michels, I like the Nick Chubbs, I like the Rashad Pennies, and you can get them late. Even if you got to wait to the second round, I'm fine with that. Or second or third round, and we pick a running back, I think we can get a good one. Penny being one of them.
Did you guys see that one of the Green Bay Packers guys leaked part of the schedule online? People were talking about it. He wasn't covering it up or something like that.
No,
I did not see that. I did not see that yet.
He had it before the release. Yeah,
apparently he had. I didn't get to read it, but I was scrolling through. I got off work and I was like, and I saw his hand was covering up half of the paperwork, and it was showing part of the schedule. I'm sure if you Google it, it'll pop up. But, yeah.
We'll have to look into that now.
Yeah, but, I know, right? We know what teams they're going to play.
Yeah, we know who everybody's playing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, John, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll come back to you in a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Steve from, I think, Boston. Steve, you're on the line. What's up?
Hey, guys. What's going on? Just started listening to the podcast a couple of days ago. Caught some of the stuff on YouTube. Pretty good stuff. The more I've been reading, the more that it looks like it's going to be the more it looks like it's going to be Saquon Barkley at number 2, and I can't agree with that logic. I mean, in a deep running back class, I think if they're even remotely a little bit sold on a quarterback, you got to take a quarterback. I mean, I don't even know why this is up for debate, honestly. I mean, if you get when did the Giants ever have a number 2 pick? I think the last time they had it, they took Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Worked out pretty well for them. I mean, and that was like what, 35 years ago? I mean, when you're at this position and you have a 37-year-old quarterback, you have a chance to be set up for the next 15 years, you have to take the quarterback. Just wondering about how you guys feel about that.
Well, if you start listening to us anytime before we go back into the back shows, we're exactly with you. we're all pretty much, Marco, if you're in agreement as well, I know me and James are, and it's pretty much take a quarterback or trade back. That's the way we look at it. Is if you're not sold on the quarterbacks, I understand. Okay, if you aren't completely sold on them, and you don't feel like you should take, first of all, don't take anybody at 2 that you're not completely sold on. Period. I don't care what position it is, but with the value of that number 2 pick, you trade back. If you aren't sold on these quarterbacks, or please hope to God that Davis Webb is the answer. Then, trade back, grab picks, and set up the foundation for years to come for this team. But as far as the Saquon Barkley, you're not getting arguments from here. As much as I like Saquon Barkley, and I'm going to root for him if he does go number 2, I still think it's a smoke screen. It's too coincidental that all of a sudden the next, a week and a half, 2 weeks prior to the draft, all this, it's for sure Saquon Barkley is going to be a Giant. Talk is going on. And I just find it weird, coincidental. I almost think especially with Denver, and it seemed like it happened right after Denver cut C.J. Anderson. Now it almost seems like we're baiting Denver to come trade up to number 2 to get Saquon.
I think Saquon's posturing a little too. Supposedly, like, he's telling Cleveland, "Don't pick me." He's pulling an Eli. Saw that come across my feed a couple times.
Well, no, that was I read an article on that, and they said his agents want him to do that, but he refused.
He refused.
He refused. He refused. They're putting up the good guy images, and Saquon refused the posture and want to be a Giant, but he just happens to be wearing Giant sweatshirt. Oh, come on! I mean, the guy's from the area. Whatever. He wants to be a Giant. First of all, I'm going to put this out there. All the guys that want to be Giants, I think that's awesome. I love that a guy wants to be here. It's not just saying, hey, I'll go to wherever I want to go. I want to be there. Like the Quentin Nelson wants to be a Giant. Saquon Barkley wants to be a Giant. I love that shit. That's me personally.
Well,
yeah, I know. Me too.
Okay. Well,
hey, go ahead,
how
Justin.
much of that? I mean, listen. To me, all that stuff is in terms of guys saying they want to be a Giant, they want to be this, that, the other. I mean, who would you rather be? Would you rather be with Cleveland, the Giants, or the Jets? All these guys are going to say they want to be a Giant because, the option is be a Giant or be,
pretty much you're a pretty loser.
Right.
Yeah.
So, a lot of, and you see, I'm sure we're going to get into this topic, so I don't want to jump the gun on it, but, you look at even like someone like Dez, who is without a doubt posturing and trying to get himself into the best position that he can. Of course, he wants to play with Odell. If you're Dez Bryant and you're clearly, on the downside of your career, do you want to go and play in some random place, or do you want to play in the NFC East, take it to the Cowboys twice a year, play with your best friend, and put yourself in the best position possible? So that's all that these rookies are trying to do. Is put themselves in the best position to be successful, year in, year out for the remainder of their career. In terms of what's going on at the number 2 pick, somebody said earlier, one of the callers, they're not quite sure why we wouldn't take a quarterback at 2. If you don't see him take a quarterback at 2, that means that what that tells me is that the Giants couldn't get a read on which one of the quarterbacks is at the top of the class. And so, you know, you can say or make out of that whatever you want to, but if they can't get a read on which one of these four guys they want the most, they're not gonna suck and duck it too, in the sense of let's just pick one and hope that we did it right. They want whoever they pick it to, they want to be guaranteed is the future of the franchise. And if that's not there, then, you know, they're either going to take, you know, whoever they view to be, you know, the supreme talent there at 2, where they can get the most value for that pick, or they're going to trade back. Now, you've been listening to the podcast long enough, I think that we all agree that the value would be trading back, but you got to find a trade partner and you got to find value in trading the pick. You don't want to trade the pick just to trade it either.
No, absolutely not. And I'm completely with you, Justin. I'm all about trading back if we don't see, if we're not sold on anybody, especially if we're not sold on any of the quarterbacks, don't take somebody you're like, I kind of like the kid. You can't take any player like that at number 2. And you know, Saquon Barkley you consider is the safest pick, and you haven't found a trade partner that's giving you the value you think you deserve, then whatever, take Saquon. I just don't. I don't think Saquon's worth taking at 2. I don't. It's not about talent. I just think it's about position value, and that's
right.
all. That's all that's about. It's not about. Saquon could be probably one of the best running backs ever played for the Giants if he gets drafted here. But you know, it's about running back value because you guys all know. I mean, most of these teams are doing running back by committee right now. No, there's barely anybody that has a bell cow.
Right.
Well,
I have a poor outlook of how this is going to go. I think the Giants, with the second pick, are going to take Saquon. They're going to franchise Odell, but he's going to eventually walk. Eli's going to be, you know, Eli. He's not going to go to the point where he's lighting it up this year or next year. He's going to play okay, and we're going to be caught in the quarterback hell. Odell will be on another team. We'll have Saquon. He'll be like the face of the franchise, but will be mediocre. That's what I have. I think that's how it's all going to play out in the next 3 years.
Wow. Guess who came Captain Negative?
Yeah.
Holy Christ. Wow. The fact is, I mean, you guys know, let's put it this way. If we give Eli a little time, and heaven forbid him actually have a running game, which he hasn't had in like 5 years, he's going to put up numbers. We have way too much talent in the receiving corps for him to not put up numbers. And you know, and that's let's go out on a limb and say Dez finds his way on the Giants. I'm going to tell you right now, if Dez comes in and you're like, hey, I'll come in super cheap, Giants are going to take the bait. Well, let's be honest. Just between you guys, who would you rather have, Brandon Marshall, who's coming off an injury, or Dez, who I think who was pretty much healthy last year?
100% Dez Bryant. 100%.
Dez Bryant, but he's like 20 years younger, and he's in his
that's
prime.
my point.
Or
and he's going to be
closest to his prime.
And he's going to be in a contract here. It'd be like a 1-year cheap deal. Prove yourself, and hey, make money somewhere else. And he knows it. And the fact is, he knows he can get good stats in that offense because there's no way you could double anybody. But he knows he wouldn't be the one getting doubled. Especially if let's say if Barkley was added into that mix. You didn't know if we were running or passing, and we can, you know, and that'd be just great for the offense.
Listen,
The only thing I think with your negativity is I really think Odell's going to be signed. He's going to be signed. He's going to be here a long time. I don't think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be difficult to get Odell. Then, like, you're taking a running back with the first pick of the draft. That's not cheap. And you have Eli getting money. You have Landon Collins, and not everyone's going to stick around.
Well, let's be honest. This is going to be. If this is not Eli's last year, he's got one more year left with us. Period. And I hate to break it to Olivier Vernon. This is probably his last year with us, unless he tears it up. So his big ass contract is going to come off anyway. We got rid of JPP's contract, thank God. So that's a lot more money going on our cap next year anyway.
This is still so. Here's the way that you have to think about the Odell Beckham situation. I believe. I think first and foremost, Odell's in a scenario where, again, he's going to want to go or be in a place that is the best fit for himself, not only from a football perspective, but also from a marketing perspective. So a place is going to have to give him a whole hell of a lot on the football field if he's going to leave the marketing opportunities in New York, right? So if you look at it in the way where you also think, from a football perspective, say the unthinkable happens and say we get Saquon Barkley at 2, right? Which would send everybody up in arms because for some reason we're against, getting a great player. So, for those people that are up in arms with Saquon Barkley at 2, let me ask you this question. Do you think that the Cowboys made a bad pick taking Ezekiel Elliott when they did in the draft? If you think that Ezekiel Elliott was a bad pick for the Dallas Cowboys, then I don't know what we're talking about. So
yeah, but they had other pieces in place as well.
So worst case scenario, you take Barkley at 2, right? So then you're sitting next year, right? Say we just missed the playoffs. We're in the middle of the draft, or we lose in the playoffs early, right? First and second round, right? So now Odell doesn't have his money. JPP's off. Vernon's going to be off. Vernon's not going to be there next year at the same number. If you read the tea leaves and you listen to everything that Gettleman's been saying or everything that we've heard, he said that there's other players that underperformed on the defense that they would get rid of if they could find an appropriate trade partner. When I hear that, if I'm Olivier Vernon or Janoris Jenkins, I'm crapping my pants, and I'm editing myself because Marco said that that's what he wants us to do is not swear. But
we're going clean show.
I'm crapping my pants, and then the money's there. So if you're sitting there and you're the Giants, if you could somehow find a way to get Dez on the cheap, right? That's going to go a long way toward pleasing Odell until we can figure out the money, right? Those two guys love each other. They love to play together. They would complement each other very well, I believe. I think Brandon Marshall is about finished. And I think anybody that would go out in the media and say, hey, there's no room for you, knows that the only way to get room for him is if the Giants say, we no longer need you. We want Dez, right?
Right.
Well, in Brandon Marshall's defense, though, Dez literally said, "Oh, it'd be awesome playing with Odell, Ingram, Shepard, Eli, and possibly Barkley."
And he's
Brandon Marshall's name was not mentioned.
Was not included. I don't know if he was aware he's on the team.
But what I'm saying to you is, there's a way to clear up the cap space, and then next year you're looking at, say Saquon Barkley comes and he's a playmaker, right?
Yep.
Odell's going to love playing with Saquon. And as playmakers and faces of the franchise, they're going to come together. Odell's not going to want to leave Saquon, right?
Yep.
So, because they're just going to love playing together at their talent level.
Well, it opens them both up.
In today's NFL, like, you don't need to take your franchise quarterback early.
I don't agree with that. That's the plan. But that part I don't agree with.
There are starters all over the league that were drafted
and that were taken early.
Or undrafted.
They were taken early.
Of the final four quarterbacks in the playoffs last year,
Carson Wentz. Well, Billy, you can't say nothing because Carson Wentz was the number 2 pick, and he got him 90% of the way there.
That doesn't matter.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Was it mean that Hostetler was just as good as Sims?
The player that won the playoff games was Nick Foles. Blake Bortles was the highest drafted player.
Yeah, you third overall. Wentz was 2, which was out of Philly, and as far as even Minnesota, they were down to their number 3, but Teddy Bridgewater was their first round quarterback, and Sam Bradford was the number 1 overall pick. And who was starting? It wasn't. Keenum didn't win the job. He was the only person left, and he played great. And good for him.
All I'm saying is that
he won it by surviving.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that next year, I think, in terms of the quarterback question, right, I think the worst thing that we could do from the quarterback position is to either re-up with Eli at extreme money or
that's not happening.
Give a lot of money to a veteran. I'm okay if next year they decide to turn it over to Davis Webb, or if they bring in a quarterback at a lower price point. Whether that be through the draft next year somewhere, or if they go, value shopping in free agency. Because
that's the thing right there, Justin. If you want to go financial.
I'm not convinced that you need an elite quarterback anymore to win in the NFL. It helps, but it's not required.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Well, I'll give you Marco. Marco brought up a point earlier as far as financials with Saquon. Saquon, if he was drafted at number 2, will be one of the top 5 highest paid running backs in the league as soon as he's drafted. Just because the running backs aren't paid like that anymore. Now, the nice part is that's why you want to draft a quarterback then, because if you get a quarterback and you draft him at that same spot, you have him as one of the cheapest quarterbacks, or one of the cheaper quarterbacks in the league, and you control his fate for not only 5 years, for really 7, because you can franchise him twice. And especially with what they're getting paid now, franchising them isn't any different than signing them to an expensive. So that's one of the reasons you need to take quarterbacks in the first round, because you want them that 5 years. And the ones after that, you're only getting for 4 years. Hence, Russell Wilson had to get paid after his third year.
A little early. All right, we got Ned on the phone. I believe he's going through.
Yep. I'm good. I have no idea why it kicked me off, but
you got booted?
Yeah, it wouldn't let me call. Yeah, it kicked me off, and then it wouldn't let me call back for like a minute.
Marco
it was really weird.
Marco blocked you.
You went on the block list?
Appropriate. I blame Marco.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure you're 18.
What's on your mind?
So, how is everybody enjoying the analyst consensus that we're going to take Saquon, Chubb, Allen, McDonald, Rosen, or all of the above?
Yeah, none of them know. Everybody's on the one person that I saw that scared me because Todd McShay is saying it was almost a guaranteed deal that what he's hearing and the talent evaluation he's seeing is Saquon is going to be the number 2 pick. The only thing that helped me said is Todd McShay's never been right about a Giants pick.
Yeah, I mean, he also said that guy from the Panthers, what's his name, was a done deal. That free agent guard that we might have been able
Norwell.
to. Yeah, Norwell. He said Norwell was a done deal for the Giants. So, yeah, I don't trust any of his crap. Did you guys hear about how they're pushing the times for all the night games forward a bit?
Yeah, I heard they're pushing it up to help the East Coast actually see.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes earlier. It's not this huge push.
At least they're trying. It's baby steps.
It's 15 for Monday night, which is actually somewhat good. I'll take it. I mean, don't need to be dead tired going in the next day.
Oh, because that 10 minutes means something to you? Dude, first of all, you were way too young to be worried about your sleep.
Hey, dude, 15 minutes of sleep when you're averaging about 6 hours is, I mean, that's a significant chunk.
Why are you only getting 6 hours?
Because I have school at like 8. And I need to walk.
He's a busy man. What's with all the NASB talk in the chat? What's going on? What am I missing?
I didn't check the chat. What's
we never give Ryan Nassib a chance, huh?
Nah, you know what? I love Cuse, but yeah, Ryan Nassib was a waste of a pick. But I didn't hear all the people complaining about we wasted a 4th round pick on Ryan Nassib. Not only did we traded up to get Ryan Nassib, guys, if you remember correctly. So we wasted more than a pick, but no one ever complained about that. But this Davis Webb 3rd round pick was like the greatest pick ever. That I can't believe we took Davis Webb.
Hey, if he shows off something that they really like, I'm more than happy to have him. If the coach says they want him, I'll gladly take it. If we got a steal of our franchise QB at 3, hey, I'll take it. Easier for us to rebuild.
Ned, Barkley or Chubb? Where do you land?
It's rough. I kind of want to see if you can trade back to somewhere that you could still grab like one of those guys in like the top 7. Like maybe see if you can trade with Denver and use the like. Obviously, you don't announce that you like Davis Webb, so you kind of threaten them with the whole, oh, maybe we're choosing the QB you want. Do you want to trade with us sort of thing? And then you grab whatever's the best position player you like at 5, and you maybe grab like an extra pick there, because if we could get one other first rounder a little bit later, that would be terrific in my opinion.
And I love the big explanation, but I just want to put it out there that you did not answer my question at all. I asked one or two people.
Okay.
Barkley
fine.
or Chubb.
I'm sorry. I think that we might have the talent. Well, obviously, Chubb is an excellent talent, but I think we have more people who might be able to fit into that role than, people who could take the role of Saquon. I mean, honestly,
you got to think.
Be what
but you got to
see.
Yeah, but you got to think again about financials, because Chubb is pretty much going to be replacing Vernon next year. Now they'll play together this year, and like I said, if Vernon tears it up, then he might stay in the team. But more than likely, he's gone. So we got rid of JPP and Chubb. So financially, we'd be good, and we'll be playing. We have control of the defensive end for 5 years, at a quarter of what the top defensive ends get. You got to think. You got to think financially. Yes,
true. Maybe.
And we can get. There's good running backs. There's so many good running backs in this draft.
Maybe this is just me getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but I think I think the Landry contract is going to have a bigger impact than most people are thinking right now. I think they're going to have to significantly raise the cap. So I'm kind of thinking that financials won't be as big of a deal in the future. I think they'll have to raise the cap more. I think it's going to get bumped simply because of all these bad
it always does.
Giving
always
out
does.
overvalued contracts. So I mean, I don't know. That was just I didn't see the financials as the biggest deal, because I think it'll.
Let me drop
bumped.
some knowledge on you, Dad, and for some of the fans out there as well. The problem now is the way the cap is. Your windows for winning are starting to become probably years 2 through 5, or maybe 2 through 6 of your rookie quarterback, because that way you can spend your money everywhere else instead of giving the quarterback $30 million, because God knows Aaron Rodgers, as soon as he hits his contract, he's going to get like $30 million a year. And instead of making a quarter of the cap going to your quarterback, those are starting to become the windows for teams to win. Hence, look at Seattle. They were all in when they weren't paying Russell Wilson.
I think it's going to eventually get to the point where they're going to exclude the quarterback out of the cap, because it's just going to kill it. It's going to kill other teams.
Yeah. I can see that being a possibility. But that's not going to be. This is almost going to come to the point where, when's the new agreement come up? The new.
And the question is, will you have to have a QB exclusive cap then? Because then it could just result in an absolute bidding war, and the richest owner could buy the best QB.
You still have a cap on it or whatever, but yeah, you gotta figure out a way to bring the percentage down, or you're pretty much gonna be like having to choose between no, I'm not paying this quarterback $30 million. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen, because unless he's that amazing, he's got to cover up a lot of weak spots that you can't pay at.
I think that.
Go ahead, Justin.
It's like, to bring in another sport, where you're reaching now with the NFL is you're reaching that same spot in where we were in the NBA a few years ago where, the owners couldn't help themselves, right? They had all this extra money because of the way that the cap went up after the TV deal. And so they were throwing out bad contracts hand over fist, and when the cap went up again, they gave everybody basically an amnesty where they could eliminate one bad contract, over the course of, 2 or 3 seasons. They could pick one bad contract that they wanted to eliminate without penalty. And I think you could potentially see that before you would see a separate quarterback exclusive deal. You just have to get the right owners in on it. So basically that's Jerry Jones, Mara, and one of the other power players. If you got a group of owners that would agree to that, I think that's something that you could see. Not that would fix the problem long term, because the owners would still have money to pay, and ultimately, as long as the money's there, somebody's gonna use it, stupidly.
Exactly.
But
you know what might actually be a good idea? If they have it where if a QB re-signs with, like, the team that drafted them, that contract won't go against the cap, or will go against the cap at a significantly lower.
like bird rights kind of thing, like they do in the NBA. Yeah, I could see something like that ending up happening, because honestly, it's going to get to a point where either quarterbacks are always moving in the free agency, because it's going to get to a point where it's just like, I know I have a Super Bowl MVP, but I'm not paying him $40 million a year. So you get over it.
Right.
No, I mean,
I got the phone line lit up. Hold on, guys.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on. Let's see. Let's go to Frank from Vegas. Frank, what are you thinking, Frank?
What's going on, Frank?
Well, hey, first of all, I want to say that I love the podcast.
Awesome.
I love all the YouTube videos. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that, man. Trust me.
Really, I think as far as on an individual team basis, we're kind of starved for real detailed information. Like if you're watching, standard programs on TV, they've got, 3 minutes to talk about this segment, 4 minutes to talk about that segment. They don't really have time to get into detail. So I think you guys are, doing the right thing by, giving everyone the opportunity to listen to more detailed information,
Thank you.
Thanks.
So
I was gonna.
Now you got the floor.
I read an article, and I live in Vegas, so I hear a lot of people, with the betting and all this stuff. It seems like the most important thing these days is the pass rush, as far as if your team's going to be successful, and it looks like they did a breakdown of the top 5, quote unquote elite quarterbacks. And then they put them against the top pass rushers in the league. And then they took the 10 guys below them and put them against the top 5 pass rushers in the league. And it all pans out to the same. So if the pass rush is good, the quarterback, it doesn't really matter who's behind the line. They're gonna all perform in a similar way, right?
Okay.
So I was thinking Chubb would be great value. We trade back. I think everyone's got to wake up and kind of smell the coffee here. Of course, in an ideal world, we want Barkley. Obviously, we would love Barkley, but what's that going to really cost us ultimately? If we go with Barkley, it looks like we're going to just be we're going to have a lot of holes that we really can't fill, and we're just going to be glued together. Any injury I think it comes down to can we win now? There's a lot, but I think we trade back. I think we got to trade back, grab Chubb, and grab a couple of, what are we going to get? I mean, a couple of three second rounders if we trade back?
Well, roughly matters on where we trade back to. I really think we're trying to bait Denver in trading up to number 2 to get Saquon. So it just seemed weird that all the Saquon rumors came out as soon as C.J. Anderson got cut. But let's say we trade back to 5. The going rate, the nice part is the Jets put it out there. To move up 3 spots, the Jets gave up 3 second-round picks. Hey,
right.
We want it. That's where we're starting. To move up 3 spots.
I was saying that, assuming that it was going to be with Denver, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get Chubb. And you know what I mean? I was assuming.
Yeah. I've heard rumors that they're trying to, possibly trade with the Jets, but we've also heard why that's probably not going to happen.
No, that would never happen.
There are enough running backs in this class for us to get, I don't know, maybe 80-85% of the talent of what Barkley could give us. And I mean, obviously, we have an issue with Manning coming up, and with so I don't know. I mean, the kid Davis Webb. I mean, apparently his dad was a coach, and he's a very coachable kid, and he's got the build, right? I mean, he's 6'5". He's got a decent arm. I mean, we could save a lot of money coming up. We could build around him realistically with all the money we're going to save once Eli goes away, and not, Chubb will have a lesser contract than at a number 2, right? So we'll have some more money there. I don't know. I think the only really way to maintain a team around, because the team is going to suffer if we're going to have to pay a massive contract to a QB. I mean, the only way to maintain our team being, solid is to probably go with Webb. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to be able to afford it.
And that's exactly the financials we were just discussing. And that's the problem with Saquon as well. And when we filled one hole with Saquon, we also filled the hole with paying like a top running back in the top 5 of running backs in the league. Because that's the way it'll break down to be. Because I think you'll get like $6 million a year or something like that, be a number 2 pick. But if we get a quarterback, just like you're saying, or I hope to God that it's Webb is the heir apparent, then we can definitely trade back and get more assets. But I'm with you as far as let's get more assets, fill those holes, with players that are going to pretty much grow up together. And we'll be on rookie contracts with multiple guys for like 4 or 5 years instead of foundation.
I'm on that same exact brainwave. My only thing is that the current GM and the current coach could just cut Webb loose. They have no strings attached to him. It's not on them.
Well, I'm fine with that. If they take a quarterback at 2, I'm absolutely fine with that. As long as that's the guy they want. I don't want them just being like, I'll take a quarterback just to take a quarterback. That's the guy they're sold on. Awesome. And I really think it's Darnold or we trade back. That's what I think. That's what at least looking like.
I think the same exact thing, and that's what the rumors were, but the rumors don't mean anything. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I wouldn't want to take a quarterback. Him.
I think they convinced me that they're going to go Barkley, too.
But Marco, and you've known this for how long? Isn't it weird that all these strong rumors about Barkley just all of a sudden came out? Isn't it kind of weird?
I totally agree with you. Him wearing the jersey, mind games with Cleveland not to take him at 1, not to take him at 4. I don't know.
Let's put it there could be worse things that happen than taking Saquon Barkley at 2.
No, I mean it's not gonna. I'm not gonna jump off the bridge or anything like that.
I would definitely be, I'd be happy with the player. I mean, I would honestly be a little disappointed they didn't trade back, just because in my own mind I think it would help the team better. But who knows what offers they're getting?
Well, if you think we can win now, my question is, can we really win now? And the other thing is, if we take him, it's not the worst thing, because if we do later on decide we want to put Webb in, right? I'm thinking, while having him in the backfield.
I'm so glad you said that, man, because our buddy James isn't on, so I don't have to argue right now. I don't want to have to get in an argument, but I believe this team can win now. I don't think we're the 3-13 team that we were last year.
Negative.
No, but no one on planet Earth thinks we're a 3-13 team. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. I thought we had action at a Super Bowl the beginning of last year. I was looking to go down to the Venetian. The line opened up. It was 25-1 for the Giants to win the Super Bowl. Now, I didn't think, that we were, I thought it was a way better value than the number they had. I was ready to put 1,000. By the time I got to the sports book, it was only like 12-1. I guess a bunch of people thought it was a good value too.
Yeah.
So, but this year, I don't know.
Injuries happened. Who could call now? Not only losing Odell, but losing 3 wide receivers in the same damn game.
Yeah.
And the games, and some of the games he lost, Philadelphia, who won the Super Bowl, we were winning that game, and we should have won that game if it wasn't for a punter.
I'm so disgusted about it. I don't even want to talk about that right now. You're gonna make me say I was in a good mood. Now I'm getting disgusted. Just my stomach. You know what? Here's what I'm saying though. If you go with Barkley, and you don't think Webb can be the future of the team, I mean, we could win now if we could stay healthy. Can we stay healthy? If we could stay healthy, but if we can't, I don't think we have the kind of depth to really win with any serious injuries. That's the problem. That's why I was thinking trading back.
That's exactly the key point right there is depth. We don't have the depth. That's why I say trade back, get as many assets as you can so we can build up that depth. Because we can win now, but we can also retool to where we can continue to win. But hey, if we can grab that quarterback now for the future, if they don't believe in Webb and they believe in one of these guys, hey, I'm all for it because I don't want to go through Kent Gray and Dave Brown years. I don't want to do that. So that's all I care about. I can deal with a subpar non-playoff year this year if I know the future is bright because this team is pretty damn young. Other than Eli and Brandon Marshall and and Jonathan Stewart now, guys like that, there's not many that aren't in their 20s and aren't going into their prime.
All right, Frank, we put you on hold. We're going to go to the next caller.
Yeah, thanks,
we'll
Frank.
Come back to you.
Calling in.
We got Mike from Long Island. Mike, you're on. What's up?
What's up? Hold on. Listen, man. We need to take Barkley. We need to take Barkley. You know why?
We need to take Barkley.
I'm so convinced that we need a running game to advance anywhere we got to go. Hey, listen, look at Brandon Jacobs. Look at Mon Bradshaw. We didn't win those Super Bowls because of the passing game. Yeah, we had Cruz and everybody. But you know what? We've been a one-dimensional offense for so long. Like, it needs to just go. We gotta go with the running game, even if it's a distraction. Think about how much opportunity it creates for Odell Beckham or Shepard or even Marshall or even if we sign Des Bryant. We need a running game, man. I'm convinced we need.
I agree with you. I got a question.
Yeah.
What round was Brandon Jacobs drafted in?
I don't even remember.
Fourth round. What round was Ahmad Bradshaw drafted in?
Seventh round.
Seventh round. There are running backs out there. I love Saquon, but I can't take him at 2.
And that's my thing with it too, man. There's so many good running backs in this draft. And I'm telling you right now, I didn't give up on Wayne Gallman either. This is going to be a running back by committee. More than likely. I don't want the one thing. If you have a bell cow offense that runs behind one running back, guess what? Running backs get injured a lot. One knee injury, and all of a sudden your offense is gone. I'd rather have depth at the running back position.
But look at what happened last year. We had 4 or 5 receivers down, and we didn't have nothing. Nobody. Goldman didn't step up.
You can only deal with so many injuries at one position. I mean, you can't. I don't think there's a team in the league that can plan for your top 3 wide receivers going out in the same game.
Of course not.
I don't. I would. You don't have so much depth, but injuries happen. We were lucky the year before. We were pretty much injury free for the most part, and you saw what the team could do. And that's all. We got to knock on wood going in this year. Let's add to this talent, add to this depth, and hopefully injuries don't happen. Yeah, go ahead.
Look at all the hype that Barkley has caused during this draft, right? So everyone always picks QB or, they pick some kind of, wide receiver. Look at all the hype that Barkley has caused in this draft. Obviously, the kid's special. He's got some kind of talent.
Absolutely. No, I'm not. It's not even about Barkley because personally, I love the way Barkley plays, and obviously, I think he's going to be a good player. It's just his position. If running back is not worth taking it to in today's NFL.
So you guys would trade back and take who?
Honestly, but as far as if I'm trading back, I can get more talent, and then
like who?
As far as running back, I have no problem getting Darius Geis. I have no problem getting Sony Michel. I like Nick Chubb Nick Chubb is young man's Rodney Hampton, and I'm calling that right now. And I'm all for Nick Chubb. If we can get him in the 2nd or 3rd round, and he's going to be our next Rodney Hampton.
Yeah, well, that's still yet to be determined. Listen, injuries happen, man. Even injuries can happen to running backs. Like you said, but I just feel like the Giants have, for the last few years, they've been so one-dimensional. I'm watching them on TV, and I'm like, all they do is pass, and there's no running game. The defense knows how to set up.
Yeah. You sound like a man that's been watching the Giants a long time, and that's what I want. I miss a running game. Pounding it down
the fundamentals of football, brother. That's the fundamentals of football. You got to have a running game.
100%, man. But even those teams back in the day, they weren't bell cow offenses either. It was Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Derek Ward. It was those 3, and then for a while it was just Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, running for a while. Even when we had Tiki, Brandon Jacobs backed up Tiki.
Right. All right, Mike. We threw you on hold. We'll come back to you in a minute. Where is Captain? Huh? He fell asleep. Nighty night.
Yeah.
Negative.
Weren't we supposed to do the mock draft tonight?
Yeah, we were, but then I'm still waiting for him to call in.
Yeah. First of all, did he argue about it? I'm
negative. He did.
He wanted the number 2 pick. But you know what? This is the kind of crap we're not dealing. Me and Justin aren't dealing with no more. You know what? James calling shots, saying he wants the number 2 pick, but he's the one getting us copyright people coming on us and by playing playing the music. Playing music, and now he doesn't even show up for the mock draft.
He sends me the clip because he wants this. He wants this.
Before he drops the ball in there. Before he drops the ball in there.
He wants that. Then I got a little this. Wait, which one's this one? Oh.
Was that a little Godfather?
Yes. Wait, did I play this one for you? Hold on.
No.
Wait, where is it? For when the season starts, List of Glory.
Oh, nice. You know what? I didn't think of that. I like it.
And then we got, of course, the famous one.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Oh, I can't wait for List of Glory's game. I just hope there's a whole. It was so hard to do Glory this year when we won 3 games. I was like, God, who am I to say this stuff good?
So difficult.
That was the worst. I literally had to go through games and be like, oh, my God, I guess he did all right.
That's all right. Isaiah's been holding on this whole time. Let's go back to him, see what he has to say.
What's going on,
Isaiah, what's up?
Yo, what's up, good? So I have a question for all you guys. Let's say we don't take Saquon Barkley. And Justin, I know you said the Cowboys took Zeke with the 4th overall pick, but you got to think about it like this. They built their fucking offensive line before they took him. Zeke is not as good as a lot of these running backs that are going to be in the draft this year. All he does is fucking run through those big-ass gaps. He's not elusive, none of that shit. So I just want to put that out there. But I wanted to ask you guys, you know, out of all these quarterbacks, because I'm not sure like which quarterbacks you guys like. All you guys, Justin, Marco, Tim, who's your favorite quarterback in the draft? Out of all the quarterbacks.
Go ahead, Justin. Start it off.
My favorite quarterback in this draft is Josh Rosen. To me, the ability that he has to make all the throws with the level of touch and skill and pure throwing ability, I mean, his talent level makes me salivate. I think he's, without a doubt, the most ready to play now and has the most unquestioned skill set for the future. So, to me, if you're the Giants and you're looking at this draft as an opportunity to take the face of the franchise after Eli, I think Josh Rosen is the answer. Now, that's from a pure talent standpoint, but the other thing that I appreciate about him the most is his personality. I think that there's something to be said for having someone like Josh Rosen who will come in and be the quarterback after Eli Manning. You know, have the opposite sort of makeup, you know, be able to be confident and aggressive with the media, maybe put Odell in his place in the future. You know, I think Josh Rosen is the guy.
Hey, go ahead, Michael.
Just like Ned said, though, he always contradicts himself, just like Ned said. So I
do not listen to Ned. Do not listen to Ned on that. I want to tell you right now, we called Ned out on the same thing, and he couldn't figure out what he contradicted him on.
That's it.
Oh, Ned, you're influencing people now, Ned.
Nah, but Marco, what's your favorite quarterback, Marco? Because you haven't really been talking a lot in this podcast.
All right, so
today,
see, I think skill-wise, Josh Rosen throws a great ball, but the concussion issues, possible shoulder issues, smaller frame. Well, he actually put on a few pounds, but that has me worried. I think I will go Darnold.
I thought you didn't like Darnold.
But the other day, one of the scouts called him a fat cow on ice. Which
I didn't see that, but that guy was ripping on everybody.
Which made me really think about it the second time. I was like, do I really want a fat cow on ice with an ice quarterback?
No, I'm with Justin as far as if it wasn't for the injury issue with Josh Rosen, I'd be Josh Rosen all day because he just throws a pretty ball, and all I can think about is if he's completely healthy, I didn't have to worry about that issue. The amount he could be tearing up with Odell, Ingram, and Shepard. Just tearing it up with those guys because he put the ball wherever. Because you can't teach accuracy. It just is what it is.
I can't believe none of you guys said Baker Mayfield. Like that's crazy.
I'm on Team Sam Darnold because I think he just reminds me of Eli when he was coming out. You know, he's just a winner. He just does what he has to do. He's pretty quiet, reserved, just does his play on the field. I have no problem taking another Eli for another 15 years. and I think he's only 20, so he's only going to get better. And as far as
Baker Mayfield a lot. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. The reason I say that though is because just like Dave Gettleman said, you want guys that hate to lose, and Baker Mayfield hates to lose, and he's so competitive. He always proves people wrong, and you need somebody like that on your team.
And I love that, but I'm going to tell you this though: it's kind of a start, but when a guy doesn't have a talent all the way through, it scares me. Like how the hell did Baker Mayfield had to walk on to Oklahoma? Yes, he proved himself. He did everything he can, and he played well. But that scares me. Like, you know, especially when it comes to college quarterbacks, I want to know talent all the way through. Talent, you either got talent or you don't. And that's the one thing with Davis Webb that scares me, because I think Davis Webb has amazing work ethic. I just hope his talent can match up to his work ethic.
Baker Mayfield took Davis Webb's spot. That's why Davis Webb had to transfer to Cal.
That tells me one thing right there about Davis Webb, and that's the other thing. Mayfield's just he can't do crap about his size. He's a smaller quarterback, but he is accurate. Yes, there is Drew Brees out there and Russell Wilson, but they're the exception to the rule. For the most part, you need bigger guys. And I just don't think Mayfield would fit in our locker room. He's got too much of a mouth to sit behind Eli for a year. I don't think he could do it. I think he'd become a news story behind himself, and I think that would be an issue. Especially the Giants organization, because they don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. They're dealing with Odell.
Especially the new organization.
So do you guys think if we don't take a quarterback, we should
Baker Mayfield's a Jet all day. I'm calling it right now. Baker Mayfield will be a Jet.
That's correct.
So Tim, do you still think we should trade back, even though we don't take a quarterback still, or have you changed your mind?
If we don't take a quarterback, there's got to be offers. You can't tell me there's no offers. There's no way like the phone's not bringing you off the hook when the Giants pick, and so I would absolutely trade back, because even though let's go with the Buffalo picks like we always talk about, because we know Buffalo wants the number 2 pick big time. We're going to get future picks out of it, but let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's just say we get the 12 and the 22, and we'll get an extra second on top of it. If we get 12, we can get a guy, for example, we can get possibly Roquan Smith. We get possibly Mike McKinley, who's offensive tackle at Notre Dame, which would fit in great with us, because Eric Flowers isn't sounding like he's too good when he's not showing up to off-season stuff, when he's on thin ice anyway. So he can play right tackle, and he'd be a nice guy to flip over to left tackle anyway. We can get a guy like Derwin. We all wanted the Honey Badger. Well, guess what? Derwin James is a close hybrid of the way Tyrone Matthew plays. He can play linebacker, safety. He can play little corner. He can do all. He's one of those tweener players. He's a good football player. We can get a player like that at 12. And if we still want the running back, at 22, I think is a perfect spot to get Darius Geis. But I don't even think we need to have to get Darius Geis at 22. I think we could literally wait to the second round to grab a running back. And if we would have 2 more, let's say another extra pick in the second round, I think it would almost be a guarantee we get a second round running back. Well, I'll tell you right now, we can get another offensive lineman if we wanted to, like a guy like Willie Hernandez at 22, which is a huge guy out of UTEP, which is a monster and just blowing up people. And that's just some of the pieces we could get. But you never know who's going to drop and who's not going to drop. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm calling it right now, Mika Fitzpatrick's going to drop a lot farther than people were talking about. Because I know James is high on him and thinks he's going to go by top 8. I bet you he's out of top 10.
One of them is going to drop. It happens every year.
Well, people are going to have to drop because these quarterbacks are going to go higher than, once the 3 goes, it's not going to be far before the 4 goes. And then, how long do we wait before that 5th quarterback goes?
Let me ask
I think Lamar. Yeah, go ahead.
I did a fantasy draft today, or a mock draft today, on Fangraphs.
Yep.
On what?
And, what's the name of that site? Is it Fangraphs?
Fangraphs? Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Well, I'm also been doing NFL.com, like predict the pick. So I'm messing around with that kind of stuff too. Right now, yeah. Go ahead.
Today, the draft that I did today, FanSpeak. I'm sorry.
Oh, on FanSpeak. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So on FanSpeak earlier today, with the 2nd overall pick, and FanSpeak is great because it gives the Giants the 2 picks in the 3rd round. So you can also go to first pick. First pick is a good one. It allows you to trade as well. Through the first 3 rounds on FanSpeak, I went Rosen, Michelle, Orlando Brown, the linebacker from Georgia. His name escapes me at the moment. And then
Lorenzo Carter.
Yep, Lorenzo Carter. And then 4th round I took the center from Michigan.
There you go.
If we get Sonny Michel and Orlando Brown, who I think is going to fall a lot further than his talent dictates. And
I don't think Orlando. I'm with you on Orlando Brown. I think there's a possibility he drops. The only reason he's not going to is because the tackles are weak in this draft. And I don't know about you. I always like pedigree. If Dad was good, I think the son's going to be good. And granted, he had a crappy combine, and he's definitely going to drop farther than he should have. I think he would have been a top pick if he had a good combine. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying if we could end up with a running back like Michelle in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
To me that's the question is what's going to dictate what we do in the 1st round, even the trade that we're willing to make. It's gonna rely on what we think we can do position-wise later in the draft. So if they think that if they value Sonny Michel or even Jewis or Nick Chubb, and they think that they can come in and be the starter, then that opens up a lot with that first pick. Opens up a lot of things that you can do.
Yep.
But I
did see they interviewed Rashad Penny, which is one of the callers brought up as well, and he's good.
I do think that with the number 2 pick, and I can't stress this enough, whatever you do with it, you need to get appropriate value for the number 2 pick. So in other words, don't just trade back because you don't like the value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to do 3 rounds?
Value.
Do you want to do 3 rounds on FanSpeak right now?
Yeah, let's go for it. Okay.
Yeah, let's do 3. We don't need James.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, no, screw it.
If he doesn't have the courtesy to show up.
I can't wait till Sunday. Sunday's show.
Can I just say, I was on Long Island this Sunday, and I was freaking out because I was not in a position where I could listen to the podcast, and the only update that I got was that we had gotten fined or suspended by YouTube, and they wanted to shut down the Facebook page. And I had no idea what this was about. When I found out it was because James played U2, I called him some very disparaging names to my wife, all out of love. But nonetheless,
I don't know if they really could have done anything. I did talk over it the whole time. You know, I know it's played in the background, but I mean, I don't know. You can only get so much. I did talk over it because I knew it was going to happen.
Before we do the fan speak draft, I just want to say, very public shout out for our CEO, how locked in the CEO is, because when I went back through the Facebook message, the CEO was on it from the jump. Like when it happened live, he was like, "Nope, that's no good." And then like 2 hours after the podcast, we were in trouble. The CEO's locked in. Mark.
Well, the problem is, Justin, it's also the CEO's thought that me and James just running the show by ourselves would be just fine. So that's on him as well.
Questionable call.
All right, ready? So the mock draft is up, and first pick by the Browns is Josh Rosen. So we're up.
Okay.
Rosen. All right.
I'm saying Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Since we can't trade back here, I think the pick is Darnold. I would agree.
Here we go. Okay, Darnold. All right. Picks are coming in. They're flying. Hold on. Let's see.
It's all good. You know, I can't believe the draft's only a week away, guys.
Josh Allen to the Jets. Hold on. We'll let the first round go through, and then I'll go over. Might be easier.
Marco, we have to decide how we're going to handle the draft.
The draft, the live draft?
What?
The draft live, because if they trade out, we want to make sure that we're going to be available. They pick.
I know. Okay, so first. All right, so ready. So Rosen to Cleveland. We took Darnold. Josh Allen to the Jets. Marcus Davenport was selected by Cleveland. Baker Mayfield went to Denver.
Exactly. Fan speak not doing that well as far as drafting. Davenport is not going in the top 4.
Roquan Smith to the Colts. Derwin James to the Bucks. Minka Fitzpatrick stays in the top 10, goes to Chicago. Quentin Nelson at 9 to San Fran.
Have
Bradley
we said
Chubb?
Barkley's name yet?
No, Bradley Chubb at 10 to Oakland.
Exactly. Makes no sense.
Saquon Barkley at 11 to Miami. Lamar Jackson goes to Buffalo. Tremaine Edwards to Washington. Landry to Green Bay.
Marco, I'll give you a better website. It's first-pick.com, and you can make trades and all that crap.
First-pick. All right, I'll check it out next time.
Yeah.
You want to go with the next round?
Yeah, first-pick.com. Yeah, go to next round. Might as well go through the second and third round.
Yeah.
Third round, we got 2 picks, so we'll see what we can discuss.
The second
round's going to be a little more argument, and the third round's going to be more argument on top of it.
So, I think probably the best way to do this is to ask you, who the top players available are according to website, and then if we have a position of need that we want to target, who the top players are at that position.
All right. So Sony Michel goes at 33 to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
So we're up.
So who's left? Who's the top 5?
Let's see. DJ Moore, Ronnie Harrison, Justin Reed, Josh Jackson. You want to look for position? Let's go to running back, see what they got. We got Jones, Penny, Chubb, Johnson.
What do you got for guards?
Guards, we got Billy Price, Corbett, Teller, Welsh.
I'm personally, and obviously I don't know who's all there right now, but I'm putting my vote in for Billy Price.
I would, based on that, I would say Billy Price. I was hoping Hernandez was available. It doesn't sound like he is, but if Hernandez is not available, and all those running backs are available, but Sonny Michel is not, then I think Price is the pick.
Yeah. He can play center and he can play guard. He can play all over the line. He's a great offensive lineman. He's been an All-American. Went to Ohio State.
There we go.
I mean, you can't really beat that pick. And in theory, our line should be good. In theory, that's mattering if Eric Flowers actually steps it up.
For the people asking, yes, we are gonna. Oh my God, I'm tongue-tied. We are going to do a live podcast during the draft. We're just figuring out the hours and when to start it up. I think even if they trade back 2 hours, should be fine.
Yeah, we'll be good. The drafts only go 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Or like 2.5 at the most. And even if we come up short of the pick, whatever.
Next round, dun dun dun. Yeah, just as long as we get our pick in there, I don't really.
Yeah, and we were on almost half. We were on most of the draft last time.
All right. Third round. Let's see. Running back Ronald Jones is the highest rated player.
Okay. What other running backs are there? Just for curiosity.
Johnson, Nick Chubb. I know where you want to go. Freeman, Walton, Kelly.
I personally, like you guys already know, I'm a Nick Chubb fan. I like the bigger running backs. I like Nick Chubb. I mean, even though Ronald Jones I wouldn't be mad about because I think he's really athletic and I think he's really good. He's definitely one of the faster running backs, but he's not a good pass protector, at least not at this point.
I would say
I like Nick Chubb, but that's me.
I would say Chubb or Johnson. I
wouldn't have a problem with Johnson. I think Johnson's a good back too. He's a big back.
The argument for both of those guys is that they are bigger backs, so they would complement the backs that we already have quite well from a committee standpoint. Chubb's knee injury is a major thing that the Giants, I'm sure, are doing their due diligence on. But if the board fell that way, and we were choosing between those two players, honestly, for me, I'd probably lean more toward Johnson, but I'd be okay with Chubb The only reason I lean toward Johnson is because of the injury history with Chubb.
And I wouldn't have a problem with Johnson. Johnson's a good back. Johnson's a good back out of Auburn.
All right, Johnson it is. Done. There's a second, third round pick, right?
Yeah, it's like three
more picks.
Yeah, we're back on. Okay. Let's go to all. Highest rated player still is Jones. Let's see. James Washington, Oklahoma.
I would want to look at linebackers and offensive tackles, maybe a cornerback.
Linebacker, Fred Warner. Shaheem Griffiths, Dario Leonard.
I do not want the one-handed linebacker. I'm sorry. I don't want to be I'm all about his story, and I'm rooting for the kid. I just don't want him on my team. We already got rid of one.
I will say
one-handed guy.
I will say this in reference to Shaquem Griffin. I watched the Sports Center feature on him last week, and it was a great story. But the thing that I was most impressed by was his ability to catch the ball with one hand, and the way that
it's kind of crazy.
It
is kind of crazy
against his wrist. Like, say what you want about whether you would want to on the team or not. I mean, it's still. I mean,
no, it's 100% impressive.
I'm telling you right now, I have two hands, and I couldn't catch any football in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. We'll give for this mock draft. I'll give it to just because I'm tired and I have a headache and I probably want to go home. Boom, done. So there's our pick.
Who'd you just take?
We took Griffin. I drafted Griffin. Okay.
God damn it. It's like I was in the war room and went to the bathroom, and I all of a sudden knew we took the pick.
You can't leave the war room.
Exactly what's going to happen, too.
Exactly. Like all of a sudden,
gentleman's going to go to the shitter, and they're going to just take some random guy.
We're on the clock. I don't know when he's going to be back. He's usually in there a while.
The long Duke.
All right.
How do we? You know what? I just want to put it out there right now. This is my goal: is for the Bleedbigblue podcast to come to you live from Giants War Room. And
in the actual
I don't know how we make that happen. I'll sign non-disclosure stuff, whatever. Doesn't mean anything. They can sue me. I don't have nothing.
Give away the secret. All
right,
gentlemen.
Figure out how to do a game.
We gotta get the war room, guys. That's what it is.
War room in the game would be awesome, gentlemen. I am in desperate need of like a leave or Advil or something. I have a killer headache. I'm gonna call it a night. A little early, but who cares?
All right, we're doing a Sunday show, right?
Sunday. I don't know. I don't know if someone can get up. Sunday.
Well, no, he's fine on Sunday morning.
Negative.
He's fine on Sunday morning. He's wide awake. Like 8 o'clock, he's getting.
Yeah. All right, everyone. This was a glorious. Thanks everyone for listening in. Please, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. We will talk to you Sunday, if not earlier throughout the week. We'll always put out small videos just to keep you guys entertained. Justin, thank you. Tim, thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Calling it a night.
Bleedbigblue, always.
Always.